I just finished chapter 49, and listen, we got to talk about some stuff. So backing up a little bit, Scar helping Lynn become a Radiant, loved it. And then becoming one himself, fantastic. And the reveal where he's talking to Rock and he's like, yeah, I guess I'm just never going to be a Radiant. And Rock is like, really? Look at your hands. And he's like, oh, I'm glowing. Loved it. That was really cool. And then we get a Yasna chapter, and she says as a kid, she was in a dark room screaming with an illness. And then she said that was when she learned that people she loved could still hurt her. What? And then that chapter ended with her saying, we need to tell the others what we learned from Wit. What did she learn from Wit? And then Ivory, her friend, was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And she's like, all right, I'll wait. What is that? And then we get a Moash chapter, and the Voidbringers are headed to Kholinar. They're going to invade Kholinar. So I'm assuming that's why the Stormfather said that Kholinar specifically is kind of like a gray zone for him. Like, he can't really see into it. Maybe because the Voidbringers are coming around it. I don't know what's happening there. But also, what if Moash bonds with a Voidspren? Is that possible? Because I know that I think I know that the Voidspren bond with the Parshman or the Parshindi to become fused or Voidbringers. So could Moash bond with a Voidspren? And what would that look like? That'd be nuts. And then we got a Blackthorn chapter, and they're having like a wrestling match, and Dalinar is just like tripping balls on the Fire Moss, and the main fight, the other guy got sick and dropped out, and Dalinar's like, shit, yeah, takes his shirt off and gets into the ring, and everyone's like, I don't want to do that. And Dalinar's like, what's going on? Like, granted, he's the Blackthorn. And I was like, yeah, nobody wants to fight the Blackthorn. But then his buddy was like, hey, I don't know if you remember a few weeks back, but you got into a bar fight with multiple people. One had to get his arm removed, one got brain damage, and one is crippled. Oh, listen, this thrill is like a real problem. It's really interesting because Dalinar himself is an incredibly capable warrior, obviously, and like, you know, even when he's not in the thrill, he's having a good time. He likes the adrenaline, but when the thrill happens, he becomes the Blackthorn. But like, even he can't control it or doesn't know what it is, which is really, really interesting. And ever since he almost killed his brother, or he thought about killing his brother, he's like, shit, I gotta keep this stuff in check. Really interesting. And then we get a chapter where they mention that Adolin is born, which is just a beautiful moment. I love that. But then Gavilar shows up and he's like, hey, congrats on your kid, by the way, but we gotta send you back out because people think we're weak, and we are not. And Dalinar's just like, oh shit, okay, cool. But Dalinar mentioned Yasna's lunacy. So what was going on with Yasna? And how old is she at this point? Very curious. And speaking of very curious, I've been adding up these epigraphs, and there's some shit in here that I'm wondering about. So I'm going to go back to chapter 39 and go up to where I'm at. Like, listen to this. So 39, the epigraph says, no good can come of two shards setting in one location. It was agreed that we would not interfere with one another, and it disappoints me that so few of the shards have kept this original agreement. Very interesting. Who is that? And also, who's we? So then the next chapter says, as for Ulida, it was obvious from the onset that she was going to be a problem. Good riddance. Okay. So there was a shard that was going to be a problem. Good riddance. Good riddance. Glad she's gone, so she's not a shard anymore. Or maybe she was one of the ones that got killed by Odium? I don't know. And then it says, regardless, it is not your concern. You turned your back on divinity. If race becomes an issue, he will be dealt with, and so will you. Huh. Then the next one, Cephandrius, bearer of the first gem. You must know better than to approach us by relying upon presumption of past relationship. Cephandrius is Hoyd. I mentioned this before. Bearer of the first gem. What does that mean? First shard? Or different? I don't know. but you know better than to approach us. Who's us? Interesting. And this says, you've spoken to one who cannot respond. We instead will take your communication to us, though we know not how you located us upon this world. Who's us? What world? Then it says, we are indeed intrigued, for we thought it well hidden, insignificant among our many realms. So they're operating across realms, whoever they are. Intrigued, we thought it was well hidden. What was well hidden? Then the next one, as the waves of the sea must continue to surge, so must our will continue resolute. Alone. Did you expect anything else from us? We need not suffer the interference of another. Race is contained, and we care not for his prison. So race, to my understanding, race is Odium. He's the guy who took the shard, Odium. That's my assumption. And then it says, indeed, we admire his initiative. Perhaps if you had approached the correct one of us with your plea, it would have found favorable audience. Okay. But we stand in the sea, pleased with our domains. Leave us alone. Okay. And then, I'm on chapter 50 now. And chapter 50, this is what kicked all of this shit off. We also instruct that you should not return to Obradai, whatever that is. We have claimed that world, and a new avatar of our being is beginning to manifest there. She is young yet, and, as a precaution, she has been instilled with an intense and overpowering dislike of you. Whoever this is, are they still talking to Hoyd, Cephandrius, is my question. But it says, we've claimed that world, and our new avatar is beginning to manifest there. She's young, and as a precaution, she's been instilled with an intense and overpowering dislike of you. What does any of this mean?